Can you use AI to write a book? Wrong question. Should you use AI to write a book? That's the question. Hi, I'm Joshua Lisec, the Ghostwriter of LisecGhostwriting.com. Let's talk today about what brings you here to this video. Can you use AI to write a book? You probably heard about ChatGPT. People are using it for all manner of work projects to boost their productivity, come up with headlines faster, write summarized blog posts. They're using it to come up with ideas for their kid's birthday party, even to write computer code. All pretty cool stuff. All pretty cool stuff. I pay for the tools. I like the tools. They're neat. But let's consider what happens when you use them to write a book. And let's show you that for yourself. And then we'll talk about the ramifications of that. So let's say that you are a technical consultant, meaning you work with high-tech companies. You are a jobs to be done expert. Jobs to be done is a sort of an innovation framework that helps you decide which products to build and which features to make sure they include based on what job the customer needs that product to do for them. Right? This is everywhere from smoothies to coffees to sophisticated sensory instruments. So let's go over to one of these bad boys. In fact, 3 of them. We're going to look at ChatGPT, we're going to look at Jasper AI, we're going to look at Sudowrite, and we're going to try to have them all write us a book, or at least begin that process. And then you'll see a sort of, let's call it elephant in the room. And you're going to see the elephant momentarily. So let's first start over with Sudowrite. Okay, so Sudowrite, like the others, of course, uses the large language models associated with OpenAI, right? So effectively, we'll be having OpenAI write us a book. So let's say you've heard that it's a great idea to open with an interesting story, or maybe a hook that pulls readers in, creates some curiosity, and makes them want to know more. And so that's how you decided that you're going to open up the first chapter of the book. And you kind of want to make sure you've got enough material to get yourself started, got something exciting enough that's going to carry you the rest of the way through the book. Great. That's your thinking as you're going to have this guy command you. You're going to command this little bot here to actually write you a book. So let's say you thinking you need a startling statistic. Let's give it a little bit of background. So maybe you'll say, I'm a technical consultant with 15 years of experience. Let's say, write me a compelling opening paragraph of my first book. Let's say, use a little known statistic about how often innovations fail and why jobs to be done theory is the superior innovation framework. Okay, let's say that that's what you want to get across in the opening chapter of the book. Of course, you would follow with these additional prompts if you're using ChatGPT. If you use ChatGPT to write anything long form or even have a conversation with it, then you will kind of get a sense of how they can go back and forth, and you can write longer and longer content. But I want to show you the real issue, the elephant in the room. You're going to see it even if other people don't. So we'll go ahead and have it do its thing here. Okay, go ahead and write for me, little friend. All right, so it's thinking. Innovation is a high-stakes game with an alarming failure rate. In fact, according to a Harvard Business Review study, a whopping 95% of new products fail each year. I've seen firsthand how this and blah, 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 that's a better way forward. Look, it came up with exactly what we wrote. Or rather, the paragraph here that we came up with, the output is exactly the input. Do you notice that? That's the first little sign something is amiss with using AI to write books. The output, meaning the text of the book, is based on the input. You see the problem with that, right? As the author, you need to know what the output is so that you can give it the input. That makes sense, doesn't it? If you have not written books before, you might not know the best way to open the first paragraph, the best way to transition into the second paragraph so that readers are actually likely to read it. Because this is more than information. This is edutainment, what your book needs to do, what your book needs to be. You must, if you want readers who are going to actually read your book, who are going to get so excited by your book that they're going to go to your website and then book a sales call with you and then reference your book on the sales call and say, look, your book sold me on what you do. We need your work. We need it now. I hear those anecdotes from my clients all the time. Sometimes people don't even get more than halfway through my clients' books, and they just say, "Screw it. I just need to hire you guys. Can I pay you a lot of money to help us because of what we saw in your book?" And what we see here is edutainment is completely missed. Now, maybe we could rewrite it, have it be a little sassy, and let's go have it rephrase it, and let's say more inner conflict. that's that's interesting. Let's see how that goes. I couldn't help but feel the weight of my failures bearing down on me. Despite all the innovation and advancements I had helped implement, the statistics on to me was this: over 90% of new ideas. Huh? A 90% of my experiments failed. Well, I'm a failure. I questioned everything I thought I knew about the field. Okay, second problem. You see the second problem here? Remember, the first one, we'll come to the second one. The first one was the output is literally an expansion of the input. What we told it to do is exactly what we got. Did AI write this? Yes. Or did I tell AI to write that? Second problem, there is no new information granted to readers here. Even as pretty detailed as this prompt is, there's no new information being granted to readers. I always tell my clients, your books must contain ungoogleable information. Because remember, how people buy books. It's not in bookstores anymore. For the most part, we're on our phones, we're browsing, we're looking at organic search results. You click on a search result. What do? You go look inside. After you read the book description of the book, you have a quick glance at the table of contents. The table of contents should not say, example with this book, the case for jobs to be done theory. They already know that. That information is available for free on Google. And of course, OpenAI's large language models, or LLMs, have done what? They have read Google. They have not read the connections that you've made inside of your brainium there. It does not have your deep experience, the embodiment that you have of how an idea feels. The way that you listen to your gut when you know from a client that you're not getting the whole story, and then you know what to say based on the instinct that you have. AI is not embodied in this way. Not yet. Maybe when AI does become embodied in some way, that will change. But this is not gut instinct. This is, gee, tell me something I don't already know. And that's a complaint with a lot of self-help books, be they business books or be they psychology books or be they motivational books, is, wow, 50% of this book is stuff that I've already been reading in other books for years. I joke often that every self-help book written since 1991 is the author's rewrite of Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within, 1991. That book has been rewritten by every self-help guru since 1991, or 32 years now. And we now begin to see what the issue with AI is here. So the first issue we pointed out is the output is only as good as the input. Garbage in, garbage out. You effectively have to know how to write a book and have done it a lot before in order to do this. And I've been talking about it for 9 minutes here. I probably could have already written the opening chapter to this book on the spot in 10 minutes. And here we still are jabbering about what's wrong with the first paragraph. If anything, the AI is useful for what not to say. But of course, you have to have the expertise and the depth of knowledge to know how not to say it in order to find the best way to say it, right? Okay, so we have to review. The first thing that we found that's not quite it, and this is important because as these tools become more and more ubiquitous, you might have a little bit of a FOMO. Well, I should use it for that too. I should use it for that too. So what we want to do is we want to kind of have AI become less of an unknown, meaning you don't know what you don't know, and also You know what you don't know. And also, you know what you know. And you don't know what you know. Something like that. Anyway, we'll come back to this in a moment here, over to Sudowrite. But now, watch what happens. So the first issue we pointed out that makes us go, ugh, about AI writing books for us, at least at this juncture as of 2023, March 2023, is, as I said, number one, to review, input and output. The output is only as good as the input. And you don't know what the input is unless you're a human with depth of experience. The second issue we pointed out is it doesn't tell us anything new. This text right here that we got earlier. It's a high stakes game. Yeah, everybody knows that. Harvard Business Review, 95% of new products fail each year. Yeah, everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows that. Seasoned technical consultant. Yeah, nobody cares. Of course, it leads to wasted resources, lost opportunities, and even company-wide setback. Oh, so jobs to be done is superior. Great. Okay. So even though I was hoping it would come up with something, it took my prompts and turned them into statements. Each of the sentences. Now, watch what happens if we go over here to our little friend, ChatGPT. Something went wrong. Yeah, no surprises there. Okay, and we're back. Let's try it again to ChatGPT. Okay, interesting. Did you know that over 80% of new products fail? So I've put into ChatGPT the same prompt. Did you know that over 80% of new products fail within the first year of launch? So a little bit different than this first one. 95% of new products fail each year. Well, what is it? Is 95% or is it 80%? Obviously, the human would have to do the research to get the statistic. Significant challenge highlights the significant challenges companies face when trying to innovate. Okay, a little bit different. And then this person, and then the output from Sudowrite said, as a seasoned technical consultant, I've seen firsthand how the wrong approach to innovation. Oh, as a technical consultant with 15 years of experience, I have witnessed firsthand the struggles after years of experimentation with various frameworks. Huh. Okay. Have you noticed something? They're not exactly identical, but almost. Do you buy a book because it's almost identical to another book that you've written, or because it has new information with new promises and greater value? You can answer that one yourself. Now let's take that prompt over to Jasper. Oh, this will be interesting. All right, let's give it Control Enter. 200 characters or less. Oh, come on. Let's see. About innovations. Fail. What, 40 words? 15 years. Obviously, I haven't used this as much as I should before recording a video like this, but hey, we're all learning here. That's okay. Statistic about innovations fail. Yes. Use a. Hey, let's give it that one over here. What was the tone of voice we had it say? Use a writing style with more inner conflict. Let's say that. Use a writing style with more inner conflict. This book will be very good. Words. Oh, it is 50 words. Huh. Okay. That seems to be another issue, is that sometimes they don't work exactly. Okay, this is interesting. Compose. Yeah, I feel silly now. The sharp one. 30 products and services fail within the first 18 months. Interesting. Do you remember that this what the one that this one came up with? Innovation is a high-stakes game with an alarming failure rate. The world of product innovation is a harsh one. Don't understand or consider the job the customer's trying to get done with their solutions. Enter job to be done theory. Now, what if we remove this one? I wanted to see how different it would be. Yeah. I apologize for the user error. That's just how it goes sometimes. There's no secret that innovation is hard. Oh, please don't ever open a chapter of your book with a trite statement like it's no secret that XYZ. It's like it's no secret that humans are alive. Duh, everybody knows that. Only a handful show that they're successful. Only a handful are successful. What if there is a blueprint? Oh, this is so cringe. Increase your chances. An expected and you utilize framework. Oh, this is so cute. Now, look at what it did not include. It did not make mention of the years of experience. Okay, so what have we learned? What we have learned is, number one, there's user error involved with these tools, I freely admit. But the first thing that we learned with writing for AI is your output is based on your input. This is why authors choose a ghostwriter, by the way, because they don't know what the output is supposed to be. They don't know what the input is supposed to be either. An aspiring author who hires a ghostwriter wants depth of knowledge of expertise, somebody who knows how to write a good book. The ghostwriter is effectively the prompt engineer for the aspiring author. So what we get out of it is what we put into it. What also I've noticed is that how much time has passed. What's interesting is in that time I could probably be on chapter 2 already and maybe have the rest of the book outlined, right? I like to work fast. Work fast, work smart, work hard. We've also noticed that this isn't telling us anything new. So if we are to rely on, or even to have as a support, these AI tools, we can't expect it to have us tell readers anything that's new for readers. Like I say, we have to have something that's ungoogleable. Otherwise, what's the point of spending $20 and 5 hours of your time on a book by you? This, of course, is about the readers. So it doesn't seem to make help make a case for value. Also, because these are all from the same large language models, with some variation, as we saw, with a little bit of variation, the outputs are all eerily similar, saying mostly the same thing. And as you saw with Sudowrite ChatGPT, one sentence began exactly the same way. So imagine, if you will, with the AI revolution occurring as I speak, we see anything close to, and we definitely will, in fact, we'll see a surpassing of what happened with the self-publishing revolution, where we had thousands of books being published a year to now millions of books being published, republished, marketed, and all manner of editions. Does the average book sale go up or down after self-publishing? You know the answer. Does the average quality of the book go up or down after self-publishing? You know the answer to that. AI for writing is like self-publishing in that it lowers the bar. And ChatGPT 4, of course, can output 34,000 words. Give it a prompt, it can write you a 34,000 word book. If anyone can do that, just as anyone could use the self-publishing tools of the Kindle, anyone will do that. Let me give you a little preview of how that's going to go. So right now, there are 32.8 million titles, published books, on Amazon right now. 32.8 million books on Amazon. We're going to borrow T.R. Reagan's website here real quick, because Reagan has done a good job of telling us the following information. And remember, keep in your mind, 32 million books on Amazon. How many sell 1,000 books a day? According to the Amazon bestseller rank of the number of slots, 200 or fewer. Or rather, fewer than 200. In fact, it's closer to, look at this, 35. That's how many books sell 1,000 copies a day out of 32.8 million. I expect in the next 3 years, the number of books available on Amazon with AI writing tools, like Sudowrite, like ChatGPT, like pick your new tool of the day, I would not be surprised if that number 10x's to 328 million books. And you know what I expect to happen? Somewhere on the order of fewer than 5 books selling more than 1,000 copies a day. I expect something like that to happen. The vast majority, overwhelming majority, are going to sell closer to 1 book ever. Not 1 book a day, 1 book ever. Maybe even fewer. Let's close this video with a little helpful answer to a question on Quora from this fellow named Greg, who's been doing this writing and publishing and editing thing for a long, long time. He points out, and I'm sure we could get into his sources if we wanted to, that of 1 million titles published by a particular self-publishing service, they have sold 2.3 million copies of their books collectively, which is a 2.3 copies sold average. And I think we can close that with this sentence. Most writers find that their mother buys a copy of the book, their lover buys a copy, and about half the time, they have one friend who's nice enough to buy one. In the age of AI, AI is your lover, and is your mother, and is your friend. AI is not buying copies of your book from you. So, should you use AI to write a book? You tell me. You tell me. What I will put forward to you is that it could be an excellent assistant tool, research tool, coming up with different ideas. In fact, I use it for give me a different metaphor about this, because it's faster than Google. That, in my perspective, even with ChatGPT 4 or GPT-4 online, give me another way to do this. It's a faster Google for research, for synonyms, for that sort of thing. I think it could also be helpful for write this in 5 different ways. Speedy tool. In fact, I've used it live with clients, ghostwriting clients on sessions as sort of a virtual assistant live that's faster than Google, which is cool. I've been using Google and real-time searches and whatnot for years. So it helps make my job as a ghostwriter faster. But what we learned tonight from looking at those tools for our robot friend writing a book is perhaps the answer to how AI writes a book is actually, when you use AI to write a book, the best way to use AI to write a book is to use AI to tell you how not to write the book. Here's how not to open the first chapter's first paragraph of your book. If you'd like to learn more about what I do, check out licetghostwriting.com. I always got some new shenanigans and let's say special, dangerous, controversial content about AI, about writing, about books, about other issues over my Twitter. I'll see you over there.